Welcome to another episode of Microdoses of Happiness, where we remember that happiness it's not something to chase, it's something to cultivate. And today I'm joined by someone who really transformed the way I see the world from Thailand, from the silence, from compassion. We welcome Phra Pasura. He's a Buddhist monk, spiritual guide, and meditation teacher. This episode is an invitation to return to the present, to return to yourself. So let's begin. Thank you so much, Lumpy, for being here.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, to start, I would like to ask you, from your wisdom as a monk, what is happiness to you?
The term happiness in Buddhism, we refer to the word sukha. And su mean easy. Ka is the shortened word from kanti, which translates as tolerance or patience. So actually, the other side of the word suffering is dukkha, which means difficult to be patient with. So in that being said, the terms happiness in Buddhist philosophy, we talk about at least to be able to be content. Whatever comes by, I can deal with it easily. I don't feel upset. I don't feel disappointment, sadness, or sorrow when it comes by. So that's state of contentment is actually what it means by being happy. So that is actually very different from the Western concept, of course, because usually is subjective. Let's say you have, and during the same situation, you're heartbroken, you break up with your boyfriend, for example. You may be very sad or very upset, but in the same situation, your friend could have been dealing with less upset. So you see that how subjective the term happiness can be. So as a result of that, because they are very subjective, when we're trying to be like others, we don't feel like them. So happiness is not about something external. It started to be content internally first. I just thinking with our mind, just by being able to to feel that I can handle whatever comes by with me, with state of being satisfied, content, and calm. That is the beginning state of happiness. Of course, we have the different worlds of happiness that finally end up to achievement of enlightenment, all that which super blissful. And no one ever know until you go into deep meditation, of course.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much. And how can someone begin to feel this happiness even in this middle of everyday chaos?
It's starting from the understanding first, how we confuse the word pleasure, convenience, and fun to happiness. They look similar, but they're not the same. And most of the time, we are looking to have fun, just to enjoy a nice company, just to go out, just to get new stuff. So it means that we usually tie, attach our happiness to something, someone, somewhere, somehow, sometimes. So it depends on something external, which is subject to your happiness. But if we want to be really happy, it has to be independent because reality is that I cannot always get what I want. I cannot always get what I like. And even what I have right now that I hold very lovely, it will be gone one day. I cannot hold things forever with me. So the longer I hold on to it, the more pain and suffering is going to be. So I just enjoy the moment with it. But when it comes to disappearance or pathway, I have to embrace a reality. And that's why when we're trying to seek this convenience, fun, and pleasure, we confuse them with happiness. And we spend a lifetime trying to get all that. End up working so much, making money, shopping, buy new house, new car, until we forget to look inside and ask ourselves what really matters. So as long as we gratifying by obtaining these objects, we won't be happy. So in order to start, we start by finding the right definition for yourself by having a pause moment to look inside. What really matters to you? Sometimes it's as simple just to sit down and breathe and appreciating the opportunity to live. That is already to start with. That's why happiness is independent, not dependent.
Okay, okay. Yeah, great. I think like happiness is tailor-made for each one of us. And so what is the biggest misunderstanding we have about happiness, mainly in this Western world?
Well, as I said, that happiness usually translates as pleasure, fun, and convenience. And people think that happy person look like this, going out, having the best time of their lives, as they're showing on Instagram, that look happy. Happiness is not about what you have, who you are, but start by how you think. And that's the major confusion. And think of happiness like a destination. If your destination is having fun, it means the path, the way to reach your destination will be just do everything to get to have fun. But fun comes and go. Even you can go to a party every night. One day you feel bored with it, right? Because that's a reality when all of these external or physical pleasures and we confuse them with happiness. They come and they go and we bored. Some probably want to be gratifying all the time. It's like we try to reach the top of the mountain, but we can never make it there. You can have everything physically in your life, but you still have that empty hole in your heart, in your mind, that no matter what you do, you can never fulfill. You can never fill it. You have that feeling, the moment of loneliness, when you get up in the mind and feeling paranoid because you're not content. Inside, you are still feeling empty. And no matter how much we try to fill it with all these physical items, it won't be full because the mind doesn't need that. It makes life easier, I admit. It's okay to make money. I'm not telling you to stop having fun and going out, meeting your friends and all that, but just don't confuse them with true happiness. It make life easier. It make you forget about the trouble behind in the back of your head for a while. But it doesn't resolve it. It just cloud your judgment temporarily. And that's what it is.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. So, in your experience, what are some simple practices that anyone can do daily to cultivate more peace and joy?
The easiest thing will be right after you get up. Sit on your bed, close your eyes, take a long, soft, and deep breath a few times. And in each breath, remind yourself how lucky you are to get up and still be alive. Just that. And just stay there for 5 minutes on your bed. Each breath, and remember this, how precious it is that I still have this opportunity. Because if you go to sleep tonight, can you guarantee that you will get up tomorrow? You may not.
Yeah,
So that means every single day can be our last day. So each time you get up is a whole new day, it's a whole new opportunity, is where you can make any choices that you like. So appreciating that opportunity because and remind ourselves that right now I don't know how long it will be. So let's make the best out of it. Because that's what we talks about in the Buddhist philosophy called intoxication or getting drunk. We can be intoxicated by the idea that I still have many years to live. I'm still healthy. I'm still young and strong. Reality is that we don't know how time can end, how life can change suddenly. That is uncertainty is actually the certainty of life. And
yeah,
as long as we keep reminding ourselves the importance of this opportunity to be alive, to be present, that will start your day. And this is actually a simple practice just to get up each day and appreciating all this opportunity. So you will want to use the time that you have for something greater than yourself.
great, great. Thank you so much. And well, here in Mexico, and I think all over the world, most of the people we spend our day in workplaces. So more or less 80% of people are suffering of burnout, anxiety, depression, because there are many things to do, and it's this saturation of the mind. So um what can you tell for these um workplaces experimenting this burnout? How can in this daily practice, in the workplaces, how can we can start to incorporate these practices?
Do you still remember the feeling of Monday morning when you don't want to get up and go to work? That is actually the first feeling to begin the week with. I don't want to be there. I hate it. So when you hate something, you repel it. You despise it. You just try to run away from it. But when you force yourself to get there, you don't give your best. You don't feel that that passion, that energy of seeing something positive at all, because you start by looking at every negative aspect of where you have to go through. And that's actually what the feeling is like when we go to work. Each time when we go to work, we think that this is something that I don't want to do, I hate to do it. And that is why we start all of these burnout, anxieties, and all that, because we just try to kind of fill the gap without trying to find something more meaningful in what I'm doing. I'm not saying that you have to love your job, but you can't love everything about your job. But you can try to look at something positive that make you feel more enthusiastic to be there to start with, because that will change your day. You cannot change the weather. You cannot change whether it's going to be sunny, it's going to be rainy, but you can adjust how you want to feel about it. The same as in workplace. You're going to have to meet exactly the same boss, the same colleagues, the same annoying clients that you cannot do anything about. So if you change your mindset, just think that, okay, I'm going to make a few people smile, for example. I'm going to trying to win this person with smile on my face, for example. It will give you different tasks, and that will keep you more motivated. But that requires to be more mindful. Pause some moments, keep reminding yourself what really important really matters. So that is why from time to time, whether you're going to start your meal, your work, your meeting, sit on your desk, close your eyes, take a deep breath for a few times, and you feel grounded, and remind yourself, okay, what's next? That will keep you more enthusiastic. Because otherwise, if we start our day with the feeling, oh, I hate to be here, everything else is negative. You can still have the best, cake in front of you with a cup of coffee, you still don't enjoy it because your mind rejected it already. And that is to start with. After all, this is the reality of life. We cannot get what we want all the time. Of course, who want to get stuck in the office, compared with lying butt naked on the beach? And if you think, oh, I don't, I hate to be here. Of course, everything around you just feels terrible. And that's why it's about changing the mindset. This actually came from before I was working as a flight attendant in Thai Airways. There was certain route that the passenger was so demanding, so annoying, and get upset all the time. And I didn't want to get upset like that. So there was a time I was telling myself that I can't work like this. If I get upset with this type of flight all the time, I have to go through it for a lifetime. So I changed. Let's say I make it a few tasks to make fun, to enjoy it. Just look for a small aspect of it, and it changed. It changed the way I interact with passengers, the way that I work. So since I got stuck there, I can choose how I want to feel about it.
Great, great. Yes, and also we live in this age of urgency. Why do you think it's so important to learn how to slow down?
It's not actually about being slowed down, but being at your comfortable pace. Right now, when you're trying to race, to compete, to run, have you paused and asked yourself what you're running after? What is really, your destination or finish line? Is it something that you can see right in front of you, or is something that it takes a long time? But all I can tell you is that life is a marathon. When you run a marathon, it's 42 kilometers away. You can't tell what it looks like. You have some idea, but it's too far to see. In order to reach the finish line, you have to keep your pace, but keep running. If you're pushing too hard, you're not going to get there because you're going to get too tired. But that's what people were thinking, that, having this projection of finish line like 100 meters away and push as fast as they can, and it keep getting disappearing and new one appearing. So at a certain point, they would just fall and, too tired to ride a race after. So the question would be, what is this urgency that we feel breathing down on our neck all the time? What are we competing against? Other people, society, the world, or just what we consume by all these social media and saying my life is not perfect. I have to race for the perfection of my life without asking what really matters to me. In my master said there are four things we keep balance in our life: health, relationship, economies, and our mind. With these four in balance, at least you find some joy in your days. If you have a lot of money but your health's terrible, you're not going to enjoy it. You have the strong as a bull, but you have no money, you're not going to enjoy it either. If you are healthy and rich but you can't just even talk with your kids at all, you're not going to like it either. So all of this takes all of your time. So you need to go at your comfortable pace, which means when you are stressed out, you feel that everything drags you in different directions. Your kids one way, your relationship one way, your work one way. But if you have a moment to pause, you will have the moment to take a step back and look from different perspectives that which one demand your attention or your action the most. You can reprioritize them. But when you stress out, all of them are equally important. So that's what is really meaning of how we use mindfulness to really reset the pace of our life.
Yeah, yeah, great. And well, I remember in my experience in Thailand, silence is a very powerful tool and it's also difficult. What does silence teach us about ourselves?
Silence, the first of all, silence is not something hard to achieve. The reason it's hard is because we pushed for it. It's like there was a lot of traffic in front of your house. There were many cars, but you instead of just let me focus on sitting here, taking rest, and ignore what's going on. Sometimes it catch my attention, sometimes it doesn't. But I let it go. Eventually, they will fade out. But I feel trouble. I get out of my house, try to stop all the traffic. The longer I'm out there, the more tired I will be, and that's how we try to force ourselves to get the silence. So silence will come. You just take a deep breath, close your eyes, and turn your attention inside to listen. Listen to the silence within yourself by waiting for it to come to you. And when you have the silence, you actually have the attention and consciousness inside of you to look within, to reflect upon what you have done, what is best for you now, what will be the best game plan in the future. You started to see everything in different perspective. Let me put it a simpler way. We have a lot of time advice that think outside of the box. But how can you think outside of the box if you're still in the box? You gotta have to step out of the box first to look at the whole box so that you can start to readjust all the little pieces in the box, how to interact with them, including yourself in the box. But as long as you're in the box, you only see things just with narrow perspective, right? One direction. And that's what silence gives you. It gives you ability to step back and look at everything from a distance.
Great. What kind of transformation have you seen in someone who has learned to live more consciously?
They take life easier. The reality is that that's what and when people take life easier, they are happier too. They are more content. It doesn't mean perfection because, we have this picture perfect of life, how it should be, and we pursue it by pushing so hard. But when people started to have this, transformation, they started to look at life in different way. That what really matters to this life, not just have a lot of money, go to work and all that. It's just to have more something valuable and meaningful to life that they're pursuing. So that's when I started to see people who transform. They take things easier. They don't complain when they have problems. They don't try to blame someone for things that goes wrong in life. They look at it as just another bump on the road. Deal with it and move on. because that's reality. We're going to face things that we don't like. There is actually the part of the Buddha talk about sufferings. And one of the two are very simple: not getting what we want, being parted from what we love. And these are two incidents that we will have in life, regardless of who we are. Denying the reality, trying to pretend it doesn't exist, not going to change anything. Instead, realizing this is how the nature is. When it comes, okay, let me deal with it. If I lost someone that I love, it's okay to be sad, but I don't have to be drowning in sadness. Now I notice that I'm sad. How can I turn that sadness into action, into something that would be the best, to create a memorials to the loved one, for example. So these are actually where we can turn, something negative into something positive.
Great, great. Thank you so much. So I have heard like this objection of many people about I don't have time for making these practices, and it's a little bit ironic because what they need is that time for themselves. And what I know is that you don't need a lot of time to make these practices. So I would love if you can guide us like a 5 to 10 minute practice so we can incorporate this to our daily practice.
Okay, so start by adjusting your sitting posture and close your eyes very gently. Slowly bring your attention back to be with yourself. Make a feeling that you are just taking your time on your holiday and rest by relaxing every muscle, starting from your head, relax down to your forehead, your nose, your cheek, feeling the relaxation down your neck to your shoulders and your hands, to your body, down to your legs. Allow the feeling that you are just take a moment to sit back and rest after a long day. Imagine that you are just sitting alone in your own empty space without anybody, without any matters, just yourself in this open space where you don't have to care about any demands or requests, just for you to sit back and relax. You can picture yourself in the beautiful sceneries that you like on the beach or a mountaintop, where you want to spend your holiday to rest your body and your mind. Feel the calmness that settle around you as you're breathing in very softly, feeling how your in-breath goes down and reaches the deepest point within your body. As you are breathing out, allow your mind to relieve any matters and worries that you have inside. Breathe in, feel how your breath so softly touch within your body. Breathe out Free up your mind. Let it be free. For a few more times. Feeling yourself breathing in and out. As you're feeling your breath, your perception of senses become clear. Feeling yourself where you are. And as your mind, your body is getting more comfortable, you can feel that inside yourself there is this feeling relief that your breath ends. In that point, there is silence that you can turn to listen. The silence of your mind, the peacefulness you have inside. From time to time, you will be distracted by thoughts or by surroundings. Remind yourself that it is common to be distracted. We don't need to push anything away. We just turn back gently to be with our relaxation, to be with feeling rested, and all the way to the silence and calmness inside, and stay there for a moment. Let that feeling appear, fill the rest of your body with relaxation. Now, slowly take a long, soft, and deep breath in. And now, breathe in and breathe out. And you may now slowly open your eyes and stretch your body a bit.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, thank you. What are the benefits, like this domino effect, especially in workplaces when individuals start practicing these techniques?
At least you are more grounded, more presence. When you are more grounded, more presence, you'll be more in control of what's going on or what's coming at you. And when you are pleasant, you will change how you interact with everything around you, which also will change everything, people, every things around you will start to make difference based on how you are. For example, if I grumpy, people don't want to talk with me. But imagine if I everywhere I go, I'm calm, I'm content, I'm always look pleasant. And by speaking to people and speaking calmly, the way people interact with me also will change. Life will be happy, being the less pushy pace. So that's actually the effects that you can start from yourself. Like I said, that we cannot expect to change everything around us all the time, but we can always change our mindset. That's to start with, and everything else we started to follow. When I started to take things easier, I will just move on. Sometimes it's that easy. I make this example all the time. If you drive your car in the street, let's say in Mexico City, which traffic is terrible, there'll be crazy driver. And when you are facing with crazy driver, you have two options. The first one, roll down the window and give him the finger. The second option is just let it go, move on. You got two choices. If you are, feeling the rush, yeah, let's roll down the window and get upset all the way to the work. But if you are more mindful, you will it's just another person. Let it go, take a deep breath, move on, and then it's just gone. Our mind is like an empty container, and we can feel one thing at a time, whether it's going to be poison or honey. Automatically, it's filled with poison because human mind love to look at something negative rather than positive. That's just the nature of our own mind. So, if I'm conscious and realize what I have now is poison, let me replace with honey, and it will just change. That's the thing.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. And what message would you share with someone who feels lost, disconnected, or maybe hopeless today?
Just being alive each day is already on its own a rare occurrence. That's how we say it in the Buddhist text, which means that just by you having all these opportunity and choices is already a great blessing to yourself. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people are still bedridden, lying down on the bed, cannot even move. You still have the opportunity. You can choose. You can pick. I know someday it's going to be tough. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, remind yourself, I'm still alive. I'm still have a lot of to look forward to. Time is still in my favor. And start take it from there.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Lompi Pasura, for planting this light in a world that sometimes forgets to just stop, breathe. Thank you for reminding us that happiness, it's not a destination, it's a state of the mind. And thank you so much for sharing with us today.